Painters? Yeah. What do you need painted? We're good?
I have an inspection today.
Okay.
2:30. We're up.
Oh, you need someone for today? All right, give me a sec. Good morning, everyone. Today, our topic is going to be pricing strategies. Esther gave us this topic to get into this week, so I'm glad she did, because not only are we going to talk about pricing strategies, we're going to talk about how to find comps, but not only in the Garden State MLS, but we're also going to use other MLSs to find comps, and we're going to all learn from each other on how to use the systems. I know I get calls all the time about, what do you think this home is worth? It's not in a location that I usually work in. I don't know how to use the system that well. So today we're going to get a background on all the different systems that we have, all the different MLSs. That way we can know how to price a home, whether it's in Ocean County or if the home is in Hudson County, we'll figure out how to price a home. Okay. So we'll start today with a little bit of culture inspiration, and I have a little bit of a new segment that I want to throw in, which is called Good Deeds. We're gonna play that one by ear. Then we're gonna jump into our pricing strategy presentation, and we're gonna have a little group, kind of like a group assignment, I guess you would call it. Hopefully, there's some more people joining us today, and we're gonna work together on that, a little group project, and we're gonna show everyone else what we've learned in the project. And then we're going to close out with our announcements. So first, with culture inspiration, hopefully Alejandro gets down here pretty soon, but I wanted to share with you guys how proud I am of Alejandro. Last week, Alejandro was picked to be on a panel, a real estate panel, to answer questions in front of a room full of investors. I think it was Clear Skies Title who assembled it, who put it together, the event. So he was chosen as one of the expert panelists, and he. From what he tells me, he had a great time. He answered a lot of questions. He feels like he really has been really accomplished, because I don't know if you guys know, but Alejandro maybe barely has over a year in real estate, maybe a year and a half, So I'm very proud that, at this early kind of time in his career, that he's already able to go ahead in front of other people and talk about what he knows. And the reason why I'm really pointing him out is because Alejandro early on recognized what he liked, and what he really liked about real estate, and that was working in distressed inventory, investors, and that kind of business. So he's focused in so much on that, and he's become kind of like a resource for everyone when it comes to sheriff sales, when it comes to short sales, when it comes to like anything distressed. Like, people kind of gravitate to him and just ask him directly to help out. So I feel like it's really nice. It's notable that he was already at this early juncture. He's already doing presentations. So that should give you guys a little bit of inspiration too. I know some of you guys have been in this business shorter, longer, different periods, but anyone is capable of getting up in front of a stage and talking to people, whether it's first-time home buyers, or if it's a room full of investors, whatever the case may be, or even if it's a PTA meeting. It doesn't matter, because what's going to happen is, and people are going to gravitate to you once you become an expert in anything, and it doesn't have to be real estate related. You can throw real estate in there and just kind of like little nuggets, and not so much be salesy about it, and people will come up after the presentation and ask you about it. Alejandro, we just got done talking about how proud we are of you.
Oh, how come?
How come? Yes.
You did because last week you were a panelist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First
so
time.
exactly, first time. How long you been in real estate? Less than 2 years?
Well, the first year I didn't really do anything. So 1 year with coaching.
Yeah, so he's been in this business less than 2 years, and he's already doing what I just explained to you guys. So I'm very proud of you, Alejandro, because obviously it takes a lot of courage to do that. You're not a professional speaker, you're not a professional investor, you're none of this stuff yet, but you're learning, you're getting there, and you're just putting yourself in those positions where you'll figure it out.
Right?
You got to get uncomfortable. If not, you don't grow.
To get comfortable, that's what I keep
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly.
Especially for this Wednesday, my first time home buyer seminar.
Exactly.
Yay.
Good. Does anyone have any other culture inspiration they'd like to share with us? Anything that's happened over the weekend? Anything that you guys are proud of that you guys have done or have seen other people do? Or something that's kind of in your head right now that's kind of keeping you going, getting you up early?
Well, I have a couple.
Tell me, sweetie.
So all last week I had my daughter. She was in dance class. It was really super cute.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. He was on vacation, so I had the baby full time. I was taking her on every single listing appointment I had when I showed her 8 houses.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot going on, and on top of that, watching Alejandro's success
Yeah.
and everything he's been doing between his sales and you got your client asking price, what was it, $22,000 more?
Oh,
something
21?
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly. I mean, makes me even more motivated. And then I had my first time home buyer seminar, and I just, it's awesome.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good. Does anyone else have something?
I really love it here.
Yeah, that's great, girl. We're really happy for you.
I really do. I love it here.
Thank you. I love hearing that too. You inspire me when you say that. Okay, guys. So I have a really fun segment that I want to hopefully keep together. Seems like something we could do long term. Okay, so it's called Good Deeds. So I want someone. It's called Good Deeds. Yeah. So Alejandro, since we've nominated you to be our this week's inspiration, can you come up here and I'll explain to you guys how this works? So all you got to do is press the button and it randomizes like the answer. So whatever Alejandro comes up with, I'd like to challenge everyone that's in this room, everyone who's watching, come over here next to me, everyone who's watching, everybody who's in the room, to do this week, and then next week we can share during our culture inspiration how it made us feel. Sounds good? Sounds like an idea? All right, so all you got to do is hit next. Okay, feed a homeless person. So this week, everyone's challenge is to feed one homeless person. However you want to do it, there is no kind of right or wrong way to do it. If you want to feed one homeless person, you want to donate food to a homeless shelter, whatever you want to do, feed one homeless person or feed a homeless person. And then next week, report back when we have our culture inspiration, and we can open up and kind of like dive into how that made us feel, what kind of an impact we think we made, you know? So good job, bro. All right, good. So everyone, that's our assignment for this week. Anyone is open to participate. If you guys are watching and you're not from Culture Estate, that's fine. You guys could do it. If you're in California, if you're in Jersey, it doesn't matter where you are, just do it. And you guys can always comment on next week's mastermind. All right, cool. That was awesome. Now let's go ahead and start with our presentation. Today's quote is, everything sells at the right price. I'm a big believer in that. There's no property that's priced incorrectly. It's just that sometimes there's no property that can't sell. Sometimes we just price it incorrectly. Just give me a second, guys. I just have to. Okay. Okay, first thing I want to talk to you guys about is supply and demand, right? This is what runs the market. So when it comes to selling anything, sugar, comes to selling homes, cars, everything is going to be supply and demand. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of there being a certain amount of LaFerraris. It's a Ferrari has this one signature car. It's called LaFerrari. It's supposed to be only 200 in existence. So since there's such a finite amount of those cars, each one of those cars is worth well over $1 million easily. Like, and depending on what condition, how many miles they have, it could be upwards of more. It could be upwards of $2 to $5 million, depending on what number it is and what sequence it comes in, what year it was manufactured. So many different reasons. But since there's such a finite supply, it means that the price is much higher. So all the same principles govern real estate as well. So if you go into a town, at one point, New Providence was ranked as the #1 school district in like New Jersey, in the entire state at one point, or in the top 3. It was really, really ranked highly, especially in Union County. So there was such a finite supply of homes there that at one point, I think when I looked up, there were only like 20 homes for sale in the whole town. So anything that would go up on the market would sell immediately, no matter what price it was. People would negotiate. Most homes were cash sales. Just a really hot market. So what we need to do is figure out where our properties lie. Are they in an area that are completely inundated with properties and is an influx of homes, or are we in a town where there's a low supply, or is there a moderate supply? We need to figure out where we fall first of all in that pattern, because that's going to dictate is how long is our property going to sit, and how we're going to prepare our seller. Because if we tell our seller, yeah, I can sell this home, no problem, 30 days. I average some home sales in 30 days all the time. But what if you're going into a town where there's low demand? I remember we had a listing in the office that was priced incredibly well. I'm talking about, I was even shocked because we had to lower it from the price that I had suggested as well. And it has to just sat. It just sat and just sat and just sat. And the problem was that home was in a town that most people have never even heard of. And it's not even too far from here. And it's just a very low demand in that town. And it was unfortunate because, not that we were promising to sell or anything, but we kept giving them expectations of when the home should sell. And it was very unfortunate, and I feel bad, but the home eventually sold. That's a great thing. But it took a lot longer than what we expected. We tried pretty much everything. We did open house after open house. We did Facebook campaigns. We did door knockings. We did everything for the house, but it was just a very slow market. And I'll give you an even closer example. I bought a home as an investor in a town that I never did business in before. Friendliest town ever. And I said to myself, wow, this is too good to be true. These inspectors are the best. They don't even bust your chops, and they're really friendly here. Never had any problems with the neighbors. It was just incredible, incredible experience. But then I put the home in the market, gorgeous home, beautiful home. And it was just sat for months and months and months. And I'm like, what's going on? I kept dropping the price, and then finally I dropped the price to a point where I ended up getting 2 offers, but then it just ended up, I made a little bit more than what it was listed for. So I was happy about that, but I was just worried because it was a home that would normally sell in a heartbeat anywhere else. But just because it was in a town that didn't have a lot of recognition, it wasn't really known for anything, and it was literally on a border of a town that if it was in the other town, it would have sold probably in the first week. But it wasn't. It was in the town right over on the next block. So since it was there, I'm telling you guys, it was crazy. I thought, oh yeah, I'm the first house before Chatham, and you guys have heard Chatham is like an insanely high market. But I wasn't in Chatham, I was in Gillette. So since I was in
Gillette, the one in Gillette?
And the one I had was in Gillette. I'm talking about because
There was another one that was sitting there.
Samara had one in Gillette too. So when Samara did hers, I told her, look, Samara, from experience, I'm telling you right now, this is not uncommon. I had a beautiful home too, with a gorgeous view, everything, and it didn't sell right away. So at least she was able to give her seller that kind of information, made him feel a little bit better, And I told him, look, from experience, I know that it's a weird market there. It's not a lot. People don't Google homes in Gillette, so it's not really a well-known town. But it ended up selling. So that's just a little quick story about supply and demand and supply. So you have to know what kind of a town you're working with. Next is the location. You could be in a great town. You could be in Westfield. You could be in Morristown. You can be in a great town. But if you're on a bad block, or if you're on an intersection, or if you're on a corner of a busy street, you're going to have a hard time selling that property for the same price that other homes are selling for. So you got to make adjustments. And you can't just say, oh, you know what, it's a beautiful home, and I want to please the seller. I want to make them happy, so I'm just going to tell them what they want to hear. You're doing the exact opposite. You're telling the seller something they shouldn't be hearing. They obviously want to believe that it's worth what Zillow says. They want to be competing with their neighbor from a block over who sold for whatever price. But you got to tell them, listen, when it comes to location, if you're on a busy road, people that are moving into this town, I'm sure, have children. You can't play outside. You're on an intersection, whatever the case may be. You're next to a high tension wires. Whatever the property has that is not right with it, an external obsolescence or something that's wrong with the outside that they have no power over, you got to be honest with them and let them know. This home may not sell for the same price. I used to live in a home where my backyard was the parkway, and it was a really tough sell. It was really hard. For us, it was okay because we adjusted to it pretty quickly when we lived there. But when I went to go sell it, it was just the biggest complaint everyone had. You can hear the cars from the parkway. You can hear the cars from the parkway. So location, guys, is really, really big. If the house wasn't sitting so close to a major artery like that, it would have sold for much more money and much quicker. So different locations will garner a different price. So just because you're in a great town doesn't mean you'll do well. And the opposite is true as well. If you're in a bad town, let's just say like you're in, I don't know, let's say a bad part of, let's just say a town, whatever you guys consider as bad. In every bad town, there's always a nice section. So in that nice section, what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of entry-level first-time home buyers that are gravitating to that one section of that town because maybe they grew up in that town or maybe they have family in that town. And I guarantee you that that home in that good section of a bad town will sell faster than a home that's in a bad section of a good town. And it's a little bit easier to get those homeowners to understand what the price of their home is going to be as well. So location, guys, very important. This is something that you guys are going to have to really pay close attention to when you put this home or any home on the market. Then size. Sometimes people think that just because we have 2 Cape Cods or we have 2 split levels, we have 2 of the same homes, we can price them out exactly. What they don't realize sometimes is that square footage plays a huge factor in pricing out a home. If you got 2 identical split level homes, but you didn't realize that one split level that you're comping out has an addition in the back, then that home is, you're going to overprice your home because you didn't realize that. So you always have to make sure when you're doing comps that you also go one step further and find out the square footage of the homes you're comparing it to. If you don't do that, then you might be giving your client the wrong information. You always got to make sure that you figure out how many square feet you have, because you might also just be shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to appraisal time. Because even if you do get an offer for what you listed it for, the appraiser might say, no, this home is overpriced by 10 or 15,000, and it's going to sound like you didn't know what you were doing. So you want to make sure you always have the size of the property in mind. And if you don't know the size, because guys, I know that GSMLS is one of the worst MLSs in the world for square footage. They never give you square footage almost. You can go to RPR. RPR a lot of times has the square footage. If not RPR, Realist has square footage. And if not, you can just call the tax assessor and they'll tell you how many square feet they have on their records. Now, if it's a new construction, you may not get the correct assessment. You may get the previous home. So if it was like a 2,000 foot colonial and they made a big colonial out of it, they put a huge addition, it may still read as 2,000 square feet. So don't let that throw you off, guys. So make sure that you understand that if it's a new construction, you may have the wrong. So when you do call on a new construction, you want to ask them, is that the square footage prior to the construction or after the construction? And they'll probably tell you, well, this is the only thing I have on file, so it's probably prior to the construction. Okay. And then lastly, guys, I want to talk to you about is the condition. Condition of a property. Every homeowner thinks their home is in pristine condition or tip-top condition, but you know what condition sells a home. A new home that was just renovated, a home with new cabinets, new kitchens, new baths, new flooring. That's what people are after. Like, they want to move in and they want to unpack. They don't want to like go into a rehab unless that's what they're looking for. But they just want to be able to know that they're getting a home that's not going to cause them more problems later. So if the person has a functional kitchen, and listen to how crazy this is. If a person has a functional kitchen, but it's outdated, but perfectly functional, doors close softly, the floors are fine, no cracks in the tiles, everything is fine, but it's dated, that home is going to have a really hard time selling for what other homes are selling for that are renovated. I'll give you guys an example. We just actually had a listing expire on us that appraised for $1.5 million. We ended up lowering that home down to under $1 million at $999, but people still won't buy it because the kitchen's outdated and the bathrooms are outdated, but they're perfectly functional. Like, it would have been the most gorgeous kitchen back in 1999 or 2005 or one of those years. But now, since everything is, fresh white cabinets and light colored floors or whatever dark colored wood, they don't have that. So the fact that you have this big home that's functionally outdated is what I call it. It's a functional outdated kitchen. It just turns people away, because when they're spending that kind of money, $1 million, they want to be able to walk into something that is completely turnkey. They don't have to go and spend 200 grand on a kitchen, bathrooms, floors. So condition, even though the condition may be just fine, someone can move in there tomorrow, you have to kind of also play to that, because a home that, if your home is, and I think the condition sometimes is even more important than size, because if you're buying a home, think about this, would you live in a home that's maybe a couple square feet smaller, 1,000 square foot smaller, when we're talking about 3,000 versus 4,000, but it's a completely renovated home, staged, and looks amazing? I think most people would rather gravitate to the 3,000 square foot home that they don't have to do anything to than a 4,000 square foot home that needs to be renovated. So and a lot of times I feel condition plays a bigger part emotionally in the purchase of a home. Maybe not from a price point, but emotionally, a home that's in great condition will sell quicker. So you gotta have your clients understand that. You gotta have them understand that when it comes to selling a home, it's not just one thing. They might say, look at the size of my yard, I got a double lot. And sometimes sellers hang their hat entirely on just that one fact. Yes, you do have a double lot, and that's great, but the double lot happens to be on a corner, and your home happens to be really functionally outdated. And your home is, one of the bigger homes on the block, but the home down the street is a 500 square foot smaller. It's sold for what you want, but it's completely renovated. So you got to also play these things for them, because they don't understand. They think just because they have an emotional attachment to the home, everyone else should as well. And that's why you're hired for. You're not hired to have them believe what they have in their mind. You're hired to give them the information they need to know. And don't be scared to tell them, hey, listen, you got to renovate this, you got to clean up that, you got to declutter. And I get sellers sometimes, just the nerve of this agent. He told me I had to get rid of my family pictures, or I had to rent a pod. And I'm like, yeah, you have to. Because think about it, nobody wants to walk into a home that feels like it's someone else's. They want to feel like, they can put in their own stuff. You know, you sometimes, and I noticed it because I've done it. When you have too much personalized stuff like vacation pictures and all these unnecessary things, sometimes you walk into a room and you start looking at the pictures instead of the room. You know, you start getting nosy, like, do I know that person? You know, where were they? That looks cool. They were swimming with dolphins. And, you know, it starts to kind of get them distracted instead of focusing on what should be focused. Now, if you want to sell a home, you sell a lifestyle. You walk into a house, you walk into a room, it smells good, it looks good. You know, you have the staging properly done. You don't have anything out of place. The kids' toys are put away. And I know it's hard to sell homes that are occupied, guys, but you got to give them the information they need to know. So when it comes to pricing principles, these are important. Before we even talk about how to price them, we got to remember what the principles are of pricing a home in any market, in any condition. So some sellers say that my strategy has to be this, and I get this a lot. And most of the sellers think this way still, and I don't do this. I mean, I sell homes that I own as well, and I don't do it this way at all. I actually try to be right on market or under market because I know what happens. You know, people see a home that sits on the market for too long, they're going to lowball you. If they see the home sits on the market for too long, they think something's wrong with it. They might not even show it. So sellers say, I want to start high and negotiate. Now, what's wrong with that, guys? I know we all know something is wrong with that. I'll let you guys answer the question. What is wrong with starting high and negotiating?
There's no competition. You might get one offer, maybe.
You might get one offer, right? Exactly. So if you get one offer, what kind of negotiating is that? That's really, it's back and forth, you know. It's a Mexican standoff, basically, is what it is. When you're a seller and you have multiple people after you, you get to, you know, pick whatever you want. And human nature always says that nobody ever wants to lose. So if you've got 2 or 3 people who want that home and they've been put on notice that there's multiple offers, they're going to be like, well, I don't want to lose this home. You know, we really love the yard. It's perfect area for our kids. Everything's perfect. You know, let's go above asking. You know, and that's the mentality that most sellers and buyers will have. So starting high and negotiating sometimes will garner you no offers. And if you do eventually get an offer, you're going to get one offer. You're going to negotiate with one person, which is really not a good strategy, like Derek said. So that's the issue with that strategy. Is there anything to be said about this strategy that actually works? Have you guys seen it where it might work? Yes, Alando?
Well, what I've been trying is you have to put a little under, like under the whatever price I think is gonna sell.
Uh-huh.
And I just do 3 open houses, and I usually get a few offers, and I do highs and best, and
Sure.
it's like they get like a little. They usually go up
Yeah.
more and more.
What is a sign that the home is overpriced? Can somebody give me a sign that the home is overpriced?
It's not showing.
No showings, right? Very, very low showings, right? Okay, yes?
Or a lot of showings and no offers.
A lot of showings and no offers means that, in my opinion, you're close. No showings means you're way off. A lot of showings, no offers, that means you got to tweak something, whether it's something in the home that's wrong or the price is almost there. Have you guys ever experienced an open house where no one ever showed up? I used to get those all the time. I used to think I was a jinx. I was like, yeah, I must be a jinx. No one shows up when I'm at these open houses. But it tells you if no one shows up to your open house, it's that if you market it correctly, is that the home is not priced right for the category you're in. You know, it has to be something, it has to be there. Because anyone will get motivated to see a home that's priced right or priced underneath the market value. So that's something that you guys have to put into your clients' heads. Listen, we're going to track the showings, and you got to listen to the market. That's what I always tell them. Listen, don't listen to me, but listen to the market. We're going to do everything that you ask us to do marketing-wise. We're going to do everything that we do normally marketing-wise. And if we don't get the numbers and the turnout that we expect, it can only be one thing. It has to be the price. Do you agree? Everything sells at the right price. They're going to tell you, yes, I do agree. Let's track the showings. And if it doesn't, we have to make adjustments. So next strategy is underpricing. Underpricing a home can definitely have its positive and negative sides to it. Can someone tell me what's good about underpricing a home? Derek, you actually touched on that before. So you get a lot of competition now, right? So you get a lot of competition, but is there any possibility that they may not get what they initially thought they'd get?
Yes.
There is, right? But what does that tell the seller then?
It was priced right. It wasn't actually underpriced.
It was priced. You know what happens is that people don't understand that the true price of their home is not the appraised value. The appraised value is not what the price of the home is. That's just what it's valued on paper. What a home is worth is what someone's willing to pay for it, and that's what they don't understand. You know, if you the free market will dictate what a home sells for. You know, if we were in a position, if the sellers were dictators and said to a buyer, you have to buy it for this price because it appraised for that price, and that's the law. That's what it says. That's not the way this country works. It's a free market. What that means is that whatever someone's willing to pay for something, the free market will dictate what that number is. Just like we have a set price for gasoline, we have a set price for sugar, we have a set price for just about anything that's a commodity. Your home is a commodity. So whatever the market is willing to pay for your home, that's the true price. You know, unless we sabotage your marketing and no one shows up or whatever the case may be, but it's entirely free market. So whatever it comes up to, it's really its true value. So underpricing a home, I don't think you ever could. And if you give a home at least 2 weeks to show on the market, 2 open houses, 2 weeks entirely on the market, I don't think there's a possibility that if there was a serious buyer for your home, that they wouldn't come to the surface and make an offer on that property. Within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, if a home doesn't sell, if it's been underpriced, they're probably still overpriced, right? It's probably just probably still have to work on the number. But what I believe is that depending on its location, like we spoke about before in the principles, a home may need to be on the market underpriced a little bit longer. So if you guys feel, okay, well, the market value of this home is $300, let's list it at $295, and let's see what the market says. Okay, let's let it go for 2 weeks, right? If it's in a hot market, let's let it ride for 2 weeks. If it's in a slow market, we may need to let that home ride for 30 days to 45 days before we make a determination of a second price drop. So it just depends on what market you're in, because you can't treat every home the same. You can't treat every asset the same because you're in a different location. So underpricing a home is something that I think your clients should understand, that there really is no risk there. There really isn't a risk. The only risk that lies in underpricing a home is the fact that they might feel they're losing something by doing that. But in reality, it's just you have to re-educate them and let them understand that their home is not worth what it says on paper. Their home is worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And they can always say no, guys. And this is what I tell my clients too. Look, if we're gonna price it $300,000, we're gonna price it at $295. If your bottom number is $300, don't worry. If we get a $295 offer, you still don't have to sell it for $295. You can say, listen, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna not sell my home for that price right now. We're gonna change the listing price to $305 or something, or we're gonna take it off for 2 weeks. They're not obligated to sell that home until they put pen to paper and they accept an offer. Until they do that, they don't have to sell it. So I let them understand that a lot of times, because they worry that they're leaving money on the table. Because what are they going to say to you? They're going to say, I'm paying you to get me more for my home. You're telling me to sell it for less. If I'm going to sell it for less, why don't I just do it myself? Right? That's what their mentality is sometimes. Have you guys ever heard that before? If I'm going to pay someone to underprice my home, I'll just underprice it myself. But they don't understand that they're not going to get the same turnout as they would with an agent by themselves. Why? Because a lot of times agents don't want to show homes that are for sale by owners because they feel like they're going to get they're going to get circumvented by their buyer or the seller, or they feel that, or even if the buyer mentality is going to say, if it's a for sale by owner, they're going to knock you down an additional 6% anyway because you don't have a realtor, or a 5%, depending on what the buyer wants to offer. So they're really at no advantage of trying to do this themselves. So I explain that to them a lot of times, and whether they choose to understand it or accept it, everyone's different. But underpricing a home, I think, is a good strategy. Next is testing the market. So this is something I try as a negotiating tactic if there's nothing else left on the table. So for instance, if I tell the client, listen, your home is worth $300,000, they're like, no, I want $325,000. I say, it's worth $300,000. Here's all the data. Explicitly shows that $300,000 is where the home needs to be. I want to try $325,000. All right. If there's no way that you can walk away from that home without them listing at $325,000, what I say to them is, okay, let's test the market. We'll start at $325,000, and every 2 weeks, if it doesn't sell, we'll lower it by $10,000 until it sells. Sounds like a fair plan? Okay, or let's try that. Because I don't want your home just to sit stale, because if it does, come 30, 45, 60 days, people are going to say, this home's been on the market for a while, we're just going to lowball you anyway. So I said, you don't want to get to that point, because once you get to that point, you can forget about your strategy. You have no strategy. Now you look desperate. So even though listing agreements last for 6 months, 60 days in, we've all done it before. We're all guilty of looking at a seller's listing and saying, he's been on the market for 60 days. You know what? There's probably no other offers. Let's go ahead and price drop them 10%. So that's not what you want your client to feel. You want your client to feel like, look, it's only been 30 days. If you get that phone call from the buyer's agent and says, oh, how come the home hasn't sold yet? Is anything wrong? Anything I should know? Obviously then we have to come up with an excuse of why it hasn't sold. So we have to make sure that within 30 days we're in the right range, at least in the right range. Okay, auction style. Has anyone ever considered doing an auction style bid on a property for their seller? No? Okay. There's companies now that offer this. I have never tested it before. We were gonna test it on a property that we had here in the office, but there were, how would I say? It wasn't entirely a great system. Like, it was a lot of commission to pay out for the seller. So it was a little bit of a big pill to swallow. I do feel like auction styles have their place, but I do feel like there's still a long way before there's a platform that can support a good, honest auction style. Now, auctions sometimes are very deceiving, and it could leave a bad taste in the market's mouth. So, for instance, right, if the seller has a reserve, you guys understand what a reserve is? Means that's their bottom line number. Let's say a client's bottom line number is $250,000, and we list the home at $199,000, right? A lot of buyers are not going to understand how an auction process works. Everyone's going to come in and say, okay, I'll offer full price, full price, full price. Now, the market may take over and get them over the 250 or the 250, or maybe not as close as the 250 as they expected, because what happens is sometimes when an auction style, you have to have someone actively bidding against the buyers in order to get the value up to the number of the reserve, okay? Because if you don't, then you run the risk of someone getting the home for $220,000 and then the seller's in a bad position. So I feel like it's a little deceiving, and I would say leave it up to the banks to do that, because you guys know the banks do a lot of this with auction.com, Zome, with all these other sites, and it's kind of already a known thing for them. I feel like it's a little gimmicky. Number one, it could backfire. I'm not going to say 100% because I've never done it before. You know, if it was an asset that truly had no reserve, I would say go for it, but most sellers are going to be very adamant about what their reserve needs to be. And if it's 250 and you're not 100% sure it'll get the 250, just price it just a little bit under the 250 and go with a underpriced listing as opposed to an auction style, because I feel like it could backfire. Has anyone ever had any experience with this, with the auctions online, with the banks?
My friend just sold their house last week.
Through an auction style? Really? How did they do it? Do you know?
I don't know. I know that they listed it like a year or two ago and got like zero
interest.
Yeah, and then they did this and got a bunch.
Really?
Because when you look at the map, it was so much lower than everything to the left and right of it.
Yeah.
That it was getting the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they accept what they accepted.
Yeah.
Actually, John was looking at it for me, but they just sold it last week.
Wow. Yeah. So it does work, guys, because like he said, if you're much lower than everyone else, you're going to get a lot of interest. But as long as they understand the terms, the buyers understand the terms, you know, it could work. But just make sure that you fully understand it too, because an auction is an auction at the end of the day. You know, you have to make sure that the system is going to work in your client's favor, and then everyone's educated on the process. Vimal, you had it?
Is that something so the banks do give like a loan, is it in the same process of buying a house, or?
Say that again?
Is it the same process of buying a home? Like, for example, if a buyer wants to buy from an auction?
Yeah.
Okay, they do get a loan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, for instance, with some of them, you're going to have special loans. So, for instance, with auction.com, they rarely sell homes that are vacant. So they're usually occupied, and they always specify no entry will be allowed for the properties. So that means that you're going to have to either get cash for that transaction, or you're going to have to get hard money. Hard money sometimes allows you to do a drive-by appraisal, so you might be able to do those. But there are a lot of other auction houses that allow you to get financing, such as Hubzu. They allow you to get financing on most of their properties because they're mostly empty. If you get a property through Zome, sometimes there's a financing available there. There's just different sites that you can use, and you just got to read the description for every property because they're all different. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then the old-fashioned way of doing it, guys, is just going straight up market value. You understand? So just no gimmick whatsoever. Market value is market value, and in my opinion, this is probably the truest way of pricing a home. And you just let the market dictate from there, because if you feel that market value is 300. And you get a 295 and that's the highest you get, then maybe that's the right price. So as long as you feel like your sellers and yourselves are comfortable with what the market value is and they say, let's go for it, I always try to play on numbers a little bit. So if the price is 300, I go 299.9. I keep it under that psychological barrier, because a lot of times when agents, I know myself, when I was looking for clients, I do the range search. So I put homes with 3 bedrooms under 300,000. And if that home is listed at 305, I may not see it, even though the seller is willing to take 300. it may not come up on my radar. So I always try to come down to the next psychological barrier. 299, 274, 249. You guys get it, right? You understand. So I always try to keep it just under because, you know, big time companies do this. Walmart does it when they put their pricing at 81 cents for something, or, you know, 294. You know, just keep it under the next barrier, because psychologically it does something for the person. It makes them feel like it's cheaper than when it really is. Okay. So any questions on any of these strategies that we covered yet, guys? Any? Okay. So since now we know about pricing principles and we know about pricing strategies, I want to jump into talking about the MLSs that are out there. Okay. So we have obviously CJ MLS. You guys know it's Central Jersey MLS that covers all of Middlesex County, parts of Monmouth, sometimes, and, you know, sometimes they even put in stuff from other counties there, but it was formed to cover Middlesex County. Next one is Flex MLS. Flex MLS is the MLS that covers Monmouth and Ocean County. That's a really nice MLS. I like using that one. Then we have NJ MLS, which you guys know covers Essex, Bergen, Passaic. Okay, that one is a little bit of a pain to use, but we use it. And then we have the Hudson MLS, or sometimes it's called the Paragon MLS. Goes by different names. So this is another MLS. This one's a little trickier to use too. Ever since I've used this, I've been doing this for a long time, they've never changed their site. It's always been the same. So at least, you know, it's a little funky, but it's usable. Derek, you have a question? No? And then we have Trend MLS. Trend MLS, I can't tell you exactly what counties it covers, but I know it covers Mercer, Burlington, kind of like that west side of the state of New Jersey down to the southern section. So Cumberland County, I think, like all that stuff down in that area. So if you have clients that want to buy in those areas or want to sell in those areas, we have the Trend MLS as well. And obviously, guys, you know, we have Garden State MLS. So what I'm going to do really quickly is show you guys how to get a comp for a property on the Garden State MLS. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is we're going to have 5 small groups. Hopefully we can get 5 small groups. We're going to pull up a comp. We're going to do a comp analysis on each MLS, and then we'll share with the rest of the group how to do it on each MLS. Okay? That way you guys will learn something today. All right, so if I was going to do this for the Garden State MLS, which I'm going to show you guys right now, and I'll go slowly so you guys can see and take notes. Some of you guys have done this a million times, so just bear with me. We got the screen up, Jonathan? Yeah? Good. Okay. Guys, all right, so you're very familiar with this dashboard here, I'm sure. You guys have all seen this before. Really quickly, the easiest way for me to do a comp analysis would be with quick search. Sometimes people would like to do the advanced search. Either one is fine. I can get it pretty quickly with the quick search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick an office listing, an active listing that we might have here. That might be sitting on the market maybe a little bit too long. Let's just start with this first. No, you know what? That's not going to be a good one. Okay, let's do this one. 39 Skyview Road in West Milford. Okay, we're gonna check this one out. So for a lot of you guys, you may not know this, but if you click up here where it has, you really can't see it right now. If you click up here, it shows your name. If you click on your name, it opens up a second window for you. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know that or not. So now you have 2 MLSs open. You have the first window and the second window open. So what I'm going to do really quickly here is go into residential. I'm going to pick my county. I think West Milford is Passaic County, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, West Milford. I'm going to pick active, under contract, and sold. You guys know why I'm picking these? No. Yeah, appraisers do it because you want to kind of forecast too. So not only do you want to see what has sold, you want to see where the market's going, and you want to see what you're up against. So if you're going to list a home at $300,000, and meanwhile every home in your area is now listing their homes at $305 or $310, maybe you might be underpricing it, or the opposite could be true. Maybe every home you're going to be up against is going to be cheaper, and yours is going to sit. So you got to see what you're up against, and you got to see what is sold. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick these, if you guys want to narrow down, if the town is very congested and has a lot of activity, you guys can further break it down. Sometimes by bedrooms. So let's just say yours has 3 bedrooms. You maybe want to eliminate anything that's 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms and up. So let's just say minimum for me 3 bedrooms. If you want to get specific, if not, you don't have to. If you want to keep it within a certain price range that you're certain it won't go over, like let's just say it's a $300,000 house, you can eliminate everything from 200 to 400 and just keep the stuff that's in the middle. So that way you can really get a good idea. So let's go ahead and search and see what we come up with. All right, this gave me too many. So it got me 527 properties. So I'm going to cancel that and I'm going to get into a price range. All right, this brought me down to 227 properties. I'm going to click OK. Now, once I get to this screen, guys, I want to make sure I highlight everything and I go to my map options. And in my map options, I will now get this screen. All right, so there's a lot of information here, right? So you guys are asking yourselves, okay, there's a lot of properties. How do I know which one to pick? Well, first thing we got to do is find where our house is located. And the best way to do that, to find where our house is located, is by quickly jumping into the other MLS, or you can use RPR to see where the property is actually located. So if I was picking this property, I'd click on the map and I start looking for landmarks. It could be highways or it could be lakes. Okay, so I see here that the home sits by Westbrook Road. There's a lake here. Looks like Kitchell Lake. So I got to find where on the map that would be. So I would go back to my previous map and see if I can find that. So in a big town like this, guys, it won't be very, very simple to do. I think I've done this before, so I have an idea more or less where it is.
There's a lot of lakes too.
Yeah, there's a lot of lakes in this place. So I found Westbrook. Here's Lake Kitchell. Okay, so I'm in the area now. You guys see this whole congestion right here of homes? These would be my comps. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my area by clicking one of the, you can pick a circle, you can pick a box. I like using the box. I'll just go ahead and grab these properties. These are my comps now. These kind of give me an idea of what's going on. So now I'm going to filter by the map. And I don't know what just happened.
The square went small.
Yeah? Yes? What's up, Alejandro?
Yeah, I have a question. I used to use the square as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean now
Use the
like
circle?
I use the circle like when the house I went to from the house
Mm-hmm.
from a mile away, because Ed told me the appraisals use a mile away
Yeah.
from the house. Is that true?
Well, it depends, because if you're in a country setting like this, they can go as far out as 2-3 miles. It just depends. If you're in a congested city, they might only use half a mile. It's all relevant to where you are. Like if you have comps
How
on
should
your,
I know? Like what?
because you got to know, if you're in Elizabeth, there's going to be comps within a few blocks of your house. You understand? But if you're, let's say, in maybe like a town like Hillsborough, you might be able to go out 1.5 miles, 2 miles. You know, it just depends on the congestion or the density of your town. Okay, so it's filtered by the map. Okay, so now these are our properties. We close that, and we're left with this screen, and we go to narrow them. So now we've got active comps, we've got under contract comps, and we've got sold comps. So now we look at this information, and we start to kind of figure out which home is most like ours. So sometimes this is going to take a little bit of homework, guys. You're going to look at the home from outside first to see if it's much better or much worse. We keep it or leave it, and then we just scroll through it to see what homes are kind of like in that range. And it's going to be a little tough, guys, because sometimes you're going to get a square footage and sometimes you're not. If you get a square footage and the home is similar, then you keep it. If it's not, then you have to let it go. So I'll go through this whole thing, because now I don't have to look at 227. Now you only have to look at about 15 and 20. So I'll just pick the ones that I think make sense for me, and then I will narrow down the ones that don't. I'll do the same thing with my under contracts. These are under contracts. Under contracts tell me where the market's going for two reasons. I'll tell you why. Because you can see where the price is, right? And you can see if the person originally had it at one price and then had to lower it. So that tells me that that price was too high for that home. They had to lower it. And then it tells me how many days they've been on the market. So if they went under contract, like this guy, in 15 days, that tells me that his price for that home was perfect. But if I go to this guy here and I look at 218 days, they started at 4.25 and they dropped to 379. Something was fundamentally wrong with that price for this home because it looks like a log cabin. So it could have been, you know, whatever reason. So you need to start kind of like figuring this stuff out. Like, okay, well, it didn't sell for that price. Why? You know, and then you have to show your clients that too. Like, look, they listed it for the price you want to list it for, and it was on the market for 200 days. Do you want that, or do you want to sell it like the guy did, the other guy, 15 days? And then this is the stuff you're up against. You know, so you would pick the ones that make the most sense. All right, now once we got these guys, we can just narrow once again, and we're left with these properties. Now you can do a deeper search and say, okay, well, these are where the homes that are on the market. These are the homes that just sold. Which homes are they most like? And you can come up with a good, at that point you can come up with a good price, you know, good price point and good also talking points to your clients. Because if you don't have the data, there's no way to talk about anything. Now, you guys should be able to, as real estate agents, not only know how to price a home that's in your neighborhood or by the office, you should be able to price a home anywhere in New Jersey, anywhere at all. Because all it really is data. And once you have data, you can do this analysis wherever the property may be. So pretty simple to do. So now I would come up with a price. I'd give my clients a my kind of perspective on it to see what, you know, they would if they would approve to sell at that price, and I'll explain to them why. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to do the same thing, but I want you guys to do it with the other MLSs. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need you guys to partner up into twos, or if you guys don't have a partner, you could do it by yourself. It's okay. What I'm going to want you guys to do is then later share with us how you did it in each MLS, so you guys can get a quick kind of glimpse on, you know, how easy or how difficult it could be on each MLS. So I need 5 groups. Do we have 5 groups? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have 5 groups. So starting with here, we just go with Joelle's group. We just go CJ, MLS, Flex, New Jersey, Hudson, and Trend. And I think, Alejandro, you might be by yourself, but I'll help you, okay? I'll work with you on the Hudson MLS.
Hudson?
Yeah, I'll work with you on the Hudson MLS.
So what are we on?
Okay, so
Where you getting one MLS?
yeah, so you can partner up with them now. Each one, yeah, you guys will partner up. Yeah, and then you guys can just
So how come
Just-
I've been,
you can do it by yourself. It doesn't matter. You can do it by yourself, huh? Yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys the access, okay? Okay, cool. All right, so you need a laptop, right? You don't have a laptop with you? Huh? All right, we'll grab you one. You guys have laptops?
They borrowed the PC.
All right, so you got the login, right? You're good, CJ. Who doesn't have a login for the one that they've been assigned? Yeah, yours is gonna be different every time. No, that's not it. Okay, you guys are in. Charlie, I'm gonna need a safe pass for Hudson. Are you on Hudson? Oh, you got Ed's? Oh, but we need a safe password.
I think I used to once. What used to?
Did you guys have the password to yours, to Trend? Okay, I'll give it to you in 1 second. Charlie, can you give me a safe password, please?
900 321.
So what do you-
Oh, yeah, you're on the right one.
I was gonna say, I think I'm on it.
All right, let me log them into the Trend. Trend is very much like CJ MLS, if you guys are familiar with CJ. It's basically the same thing. Just type in Bright MLS, because the thing is called Bright now. Yes. Oh yeah, guys. So now that you're there, okay, guys, what I want you to do is find a property that's listed, any property that's listed that's been on the market more than 60 days, pick it, and then find what it should be listed for, why it hasn't sold. Okay? No, just anybody's. It could be anybody's, any MLS. I mean any agency. Sorry, guys, left out that part. Yeah, are you actually? Are you in?
Find the house first.
And then GS. Keywords.
You're in. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So the instructions are to find a home that's been listed for over 60 days, and find out what the home should be priced at, because it's not moving. Okay. Any home. Find a property and give me an analysis on what it should be priced at because of your data. Alejandro, I'm going to help you because I don't think that one's one of the more complicated ones to use. If anyone needs help, let me know. Okay.
Days on the market.
Yeah, so you got to click on any one individually. I would stay away from condo. before he's JFK. You said third?
Yeah.
You're going the wrong way. Yeah, it was down here? Jump on RPR again. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're down there. Cool. All right, go back.
It's only one.
No, there's two there. Click bigger? Not that, bigger, like inside. There's two there. There might be a condo. Click on it.
So if you make it bigger,
Okay, so get out of there. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you've got all of this stuff. You can use whatever's in there as comps. Usually all this in there would be comps, so see if you have anything in there. So pick these. So the way you'd pick these would be like this. You go make it bigger. Keep going. Okay. So what I do is you can draw it in. I'm sorry. Try this one.
Under contract for
This is really good. Okay, now go to, I think hit search. There you go, those are the 5 listings. So now you can see what they're selling for, and you can see where it needs to be priced at.
490.
Yeah, do your research like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone is different.
Everyone is different. Hey Esther, why don't you say with Alejandro he's doing a comp search on Hudson County. Everyone's doing a different different MLS to see how to price. Remember you asked me if you could do the pricing thing? We're talking about that. Hmm?
If we're, so on this, if we're, we chose the areas.
Yes.
Well, that's the first one.
This one here, that Delta, we're gonna do a comp on like.
Let me get behind you. So you're saying? I can see.
So where do we go from here?
Okay, so these are the ones that you designated should be good comps for it?
Right.
You
Well,
did
no,
it.
we haven't picked them.
Oh, you haven't picked them yet?
Like the area.
Okay, so now I would go to where it says, there's a map icon underneath there somewhere. It should be like a map view.
Picked up his,
This one here.
There you go, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
this house.
All right, so now those properties that you've picked are going to show up here on your map.
Maybe price for 490.
You should be seeing them. Okay, yeah, they're spread out. You see them? Okay, now what you want to do is go on to either RPR or go on to
Right.
another system that you want to use to find out where your home is located.
Okay, so we did that.
Okay, what's it next to? You click on bigger map on the picture right there.
No, which ones are like our house?
No, I know, I'm just looking for this.
Zoom out.
Oh, this is weird. Come see this.
There's a minus icon on the left if you go up a little bit. No, there you go, right there. On the map, there's an icon that zooms you out right there. Keep doing that until you see some major arteries, and then you can see where the property is.
So this one is like the highest. That's all I want to have.
Good. All right, so you see there's like a little lake there, and there's that main road. What is that, one?
Totally updated.
It says Trenton, it says Trenton Parkway. What does that say? Yeah, right there. So you know you're in between Trenton Parkway and that little lake, Colonial Lake. All right, so now go back to your other. Okay, and look for those 2 landmarks.
No, I know. Scroll all the way. I want to be able to see the street.
Also, now,
Yeah, I want to be able to see the street.
so the one which is available is this one.
Okay, this is the old one. 370. Wow. Oof, this is nice.
There's a Trenton Parkway.
Ray Trust was right there. So,
Make it a little bigger maybe?
So it looks something similar.
So that's the
Well,
lake.
this is a different,
Oh,
no, I'm saying the one, I know the one from before, the first one.
now
The one
for
if you zoom out a little bit more,
Small.
only look in areas where you see the little check marks. Because if you're looking in areas where there's no check marks, it means you're out of the area anyway.
60.
So wherever you see check marks, you should look for the lake and the major highway around there.
It's 499, there's no solar.
And if you're still having a hard time, I'd go back to the RPR and make it even zoom out more to get more of an aerial view.
Even nicer. So they gotta try the 500 and 10,000.
Is that Merciless?
Huh? You wanna say? No, first of all, like,
Is that
he took that list.
the one that we looked at on the other one?
Somebody
Zoom out a little bit more to see where you are.
might as well not do it.
Zoom out a little bit more.
And how to see it on the market.
Isn't that Delaware split right there?
That one's active, right?
Yeah, isn't that little like long looking river thing that you had on the other one?
Over here?
Maybe. It has to be down a little bit. Because there seems to be a lot of properties that way.
Okay, and this one's priced for
And it's, what's it listed at?
11,000.
Oh. Oh.
How many bedrooms? And built in '02.
There's 2 floors, so I want to say bigger. I would say 390.
Look at a lot of other pictures are bigger, less than, so you can see the inside of the condition.
Okay, see, Trenton Road. Okay. Oh, that's the little area, so there's no.
No.
Okay, go back, because we have a tax structure.
Go back and see the other ones.
If I can go back to the first one that we did, just so I can write down the square
What is
footage.
that? What is that? That's the,
I have to write the square foot as well. Oh, yeah, definitely much more bigger on that one, the last one. Okay. Alright, so let's look at what's sold.
It's not even up there. It's car. The kitchen, right? It's laid out.
We don't know how far it is.
It's big now.
Or anything like that.
Does it allow you to put an address at the top?
Oh no.
We're at 415.
Oh, so you got 2 kitchens. So they're not big ones.
Yeah, lets you type.
I'm just trying to get down to 450. 149 Lakeville Drive. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Now you just zoom out. That saves a lot of time.
Crazy how they tell you where the body is from right there. Come on, let's go to the needs. Yeah, okay, so if we're right there,
I would say
You want to zoom out?
440,
Keep zooming out.
this one.
Yeah.
The lot's a little bit smaller, so that's good.
Okay, so whatever you see that's check marks in your area, I would somehow use one of the tools, so like a mapping tool or like a circle or a square, and just grab the ones that are closest and then narrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if we use this,
extra floor. It's 3 floors. The other one is 2 floors. This one has 2 kitchens.
Just try it out, experiment.
Um,
Mhm. Yeah, this is all about learning today. So if you feel like that was wrong, you can exit out and try again. And you're onto it now.
well, the first one.
so how many?
That one's Lakehurst, right? Lakehurst?
You guys are okay?
Yeah.
Everyone's okay? You good, Joy? You guys are good?
The one that is sold is smaller.
You ladies are all right? All right, good. Give you guys another 5 minutes. We could share our information.
Hey, Lou,
Yes, sir?
I have a question.
Mhm.
How much of the impact
first two comps we had were 2014 and 15. One was 2002, but the house was built in 01.
If it's within like the same, how would I say, like decades, like within that 10, 20 years of each other, it won't be much of an impact. But if it was built in like 1900 and then the other one was built in like 1990, there's a big difference because, you know, it's a whole different type of build and everything. But yeah, if it's within like a range of each other, it doesn't impact it that much. But if it was built in like, let's say 2005, as opposed to like 2019 or 18, and you're going to be the first owner, it's definitely going to have a much better premium than something that's been lived in for 10 years. So those are the only two times that year built would have an impact. But if they were both built like in the past and they've had owners before and they're within like 10, 20 years of each other, it shouldn't have an impact at all. At 10:30, guys, we're going to start presenting, okay? 3 more minutes.
And this is 2001.
Just the 4. Which one's even 4? Because those are the 4 closest to the end.
Yeah. Which house?
That one was Westlake. That's back.
The one which is open? Yeah, that's the actual house.
That's the actual house.
And the one that's older is 475. I think it should be correct at 460.
Because that's the closest. These are on opposite sides.
This one is opposite side. But this is 2014.
These guys shouldn't have that much difference. That actually have that.
Yeah.
Too much of a big difference, but
That looks like they have to replace the price. They never
They could
replaced
have
the
been Google card and go buy it.
There's no map search
The
on
Westlake?
the engineering.
Yeah, the original was 550.
There is a map search, but it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Real big pain in the butt. So the only way to do let me just see. Am I going to mess you guys up if I get out of here?
No, no.
Okay. So we go to quick search and type in the parameters. So what county is it?
465.
It's,
It's Primus.
Paramus?
So it'd
That's
be
Bergen County. That's
Bergen.
okay. So you guys want just sold properties for now? 6 months back. That's fine. Residential. Do you guys have a town?
yeah,
Paramus.
Paramus is 02246.
Oh, 2, 2,
No, 246.
0, 2, 0, 2, 4, 6?
246, yeah.
Oh, it's here. Okay, cool. All right, so then what we do here is we go to, how many is it? 96? Here's search. Okay, so check all of them. Okay, and then we go to, if you guys see map listings,
Keep that open. Just in case.
go.
Lower tax, the one which is sold.
Okay, no. Alejandro's going to show you guys something that he learned
Oh yeah,
because I used to do it the hardest way possible.
yeah, I found it. I haven't done it in a while, but
He might remember.
the engine on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know why your map's not searching, loading up, but. Alejandro, do you remember how it was? Wait till the map loads up. It'll should load up in a second.
Listing
Are you
document.
talking about DACA or DALU?
Dot loop docs.
log into DeLog, you can get, if they won't be like pre-filled out for you. You can
Hmm?
auto,
Example.
Oh,
you can
okay.
auto-fill
Thank you,
it so
bro.
it fills out for you. You want the
I
actual
have internet
documents
and
printed if you
it's
had to
obviously
or
working.
No, so
Is that what you're trying to do or?
no, I was trying to do like examples of how it's going to fill the list.
Maybe click on a property
Because I
and
used
then,
Loop last week
Okay.
to fill one of the contracts. Took it from MLS,
Wow.
the whole thing, the owner information.
so weird.
It's not showing, huh?
So you just
No.
want like copy of that one that you already did.
What is that?
Yeah, so now.
Go.
Oh my God, you're
I
so
know, this
zoomed
is
out.
so crazy, right?
Yeah, it was so zoomed out that it was. All right, now I should be able to help you from here.
One is already done. Now I'm getting a listing from one of my.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our. Can we start with you guys?
Yes.
You guys are good. All right. So, if you guys can,
We don't have an answer.
you don't have an answer.
We have a comparison.
Okay. So we're gonna go into CJMLS. You have it open there, right?
Yeah, I can just give you the MLS numbers.
I can't. Do I have? You have to go into the MLS and show them how you did it, though.
Huh?
You shouldn't go into the MLS and show them how you did it. So bring the laptop, because that one's easier to plug in.
Trying to get out of it. She doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
Huh?
She doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
No, she does. She's good now. She loves the camera now.
We fixed it.
Here you go. Your camera. Your
You're
camera.
getting up here too.
Yeah, but like you did it. You did a great job.
You did too.
I just kept you on target.
Sure.
Okay. You can share with us what you did. So, huh? Yeah. So Joelle and Mike, they did a Central Jersey MLS, guys. So let's see how. Huh? Yeah, of course. Clip yourself in. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if you guys are able to pay attention, if you're still working, don't worry. But Jolie's going to show us how she found a property. What property did you pick? 3 Pauline Street?
No.
No?
Dorothy.
138 Dorothy Street. It's been on the market for like 73 days, 78, I think, 73.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm also working.
So this property's been on the market over 60 days, and it's not moving. So what did you find? You
Okay.
found that this home might be a little overpriced?
It says that it was built in 2019. There's no other pictures, so I'm just gonna assume it's a completely brand new house. It looks
New.
pretty nice.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna guess that everything's dated inside. And then the only thing we could find 5 months that have closed within that area was just 2 properties that sold for very similar prices. One of them was overpriced though. This one is one of them.
How did you find your data? Did you guys go to search?
Yeah, we went to search residential.
Okay, show us that. Show us that process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so see guys, when she's doing her comp search, she goes here to search.
I
And
take
she
out
picked-
the active.
She took out active, she just kept it closed.
We searched 3 months before, but there was literally nothing.
So you went 1 year out?
No, we didn't go a year. We went 6 months.
6 months? Okay.
5 months, I think it was. It was February 1st till yesterday.
Okay.
And I think we even put total bedrooms was 4, and then total baths was 3. And then-
Okay. The only thing is that operates a little differently.
What?
The CJMLS,
Mm-hmm.
if you put in here a number,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling it that it has to be exact, that number. So if you
Some
want
of them were above though.
some of them had more bedrooms than that?
Mm-hmm. But it was good. But they were bad. They were terrible.
Are you sure? Because that when you do that in CJMLS, you're telling it that it has to be exactly that.
Well, let's see. And then I put Carteret. And we got 5 matches. Only 2 of them were perfect. The first 2 were perfect. The last 3 were not even close.
So how'd you pick which ones? Because of the area? Did you map these?
Yeah, John.
Mike.
Mike was so smart to map them, and they were literally like,
They're all
Close.
the block.
yeah, a block apart.
So did you
And they're
go?
all the second house.
Where did you go from here? Did you go to map?
Yeah, we
So you
not
clicked on
map.
map?
Well, what I did is I clicked on it, and then
Mhm.
I did a separate thing where I went to map and I copied and pasted.
All right. So in
The-
order to avoid doing all that, go back to your results.
I don't.
You go to results. Click right there.
I did
I'm sorry. Go to
criteria. Nope.
no. Go here. Search
I'll just go back.
results. Dude.
Okay.
Okay. Click on the map. Okay. So here it tells you where the properties are.
Okay.
So what you could do is you can click one. You can grab one of these mapping tools.
Well, regardless, they're all here.
Okay. So you could have
No.
instead of individually mapping each one,
Yeah.
you could have just went to map and just grabbed one of these tools and surrounded the ones that are in the area. There you go. Now you go to refine.
Okay.
Cool. Now you go to
Results.
results. Exactly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, there were the two comps.
And those were the two. Now click them open.
Come on, what?
Click them open. Yeah, click there. How many bedrooms?
Rooms total was 8, just like the other one. 4 bedrooms,
Mhm.
3 baths.
Yeah.
The only difference is that the other one had a half bath, and this one just has 3 full baths. And what else? This one's built in 2013. The other one said 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's not
A little bit older.
a little bit older, yeah. And it was listed a lot higher.
Okay. And
But
what
it
did it
was
sell
sold
for?
for $495. So person's actually pretty good, although
Okay.
it's still.
What about the next comp? This was the other comp.
Mm-hmm.
How
This
mu-
one's new.
This is new construction.
Yeah.
What did it sell for? 4 and change.
It's sold for $4.9. That's the exact price, the listing price. $449.
Okay. So, and this is a 4-bedroom too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I want to explain to you is now that you're looking at your results, when you put in the criteria in your search, you put in the exact criteria that it needs to be. So if there was a 3-bedroom or a 5-bedroom that sold in that area that was a new construction, you wouldn't be able to see those. So you narrowed it down a little bit too much. You understand me?
Good. Well, we found 2 ones.
Hmm?
We
Okay,
found
so
2.
you found 2. So what does your analysis tell us now? What do you feel? Go back to the original listing.
Actually, I didn't need that.
1922, 645.
Okay, with your original listing here, what do you feel the price of this home should be? And why do you think it's not moving?
Honestly, probably too high. Like, I would go with the second, like, go more towards the second price of the property, the comparable.
240, I mean,
It was like
449.
450. It was like 450.
450, and you think
Yeah.
it's a better price because what? The size, the condition?
I don't know. Well, they need to have more pictures on the inside or something.
This
'cause
one
I
has
don't
no pictures, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it looks like on the inside, so I'm not
Okay.
gonna just guess from
Or
how it
if
looks on
the
the
landscape
outside.
is even done at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the house is not even done yet. Maybe that's the reason why
Plus
maybe
on
it's not
Google,
sold
like
yet.
there's a
But
bunch
yeah,
of
the
trees
picture on
covering
Google is
it.
like this little hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It might not
can't
even be
even
done
see
yet,
it.
but yeah. So you think 449 is a better price for it?
450.
450?
Yeah, just so they can search. Yeah, 449.
Okay.
split
Yeah.
the difference because one was 490, one sold for 450. So
Sure.
470.
Yeah, when you look for new construction comps, what I want to show you guys here is when you go to criteria.
Yeah, because you're on the search for just the MLS.
Okay.
Square footage, it was like 14,000 and change on the square footage, and it was 469.99. So that was just like, yeah.
Okay. When you're doing a search for new constructions, what I'm going to teach you is here under bedrooms, leave it out. Bathrooms, leave it out. What I want you to do is year built. Under year built, you can put in like new construction, or it might be
2018 plus or
Under construction?
yeah. Where do you see it?
it's on the top right,
No, no.
Top right.
on the bottom.
Here, year built. Yeah. So you could do minus, you said, or plus?
Plus 2018 plus or 2019
Yeah.
even.
2018 plus, because what plus does is it says it could be after 2018, and that will give you the results you're looking for. So if you go,
I only have one.
as you see, there's only one match So it might be a little bit too recent. So you can go maybe 2010 and see. Now you have 2 matches. So if you go to 2000, which is like right before the boom, then you can see how many results that gives you. 5 results. So pretty much kind of same number of comps, more or less, the ones that you had picked earlier. Probably going to be the ones showing up. So good job overall. You guys did a good job.
You did a bomb job.
Yeah, great job.
for
Okay,
crazy
good.
people.
Thank you. Hopefully you guys were able to see what Jolie did. The only thing I think you learned is that you can use the map option right directly from the system.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, you can. What kind of
We can use this.
yeah? What kind of
Flex.
port do you have? Do you have HDMI or do you have USB? Okay. If you have USB, then which system did you guys use?
Flex.
Flex. Okay, I'll log you guys in to this one.
Log into that
Yeah.
Using the same data.
Using the same data.
Do you want us to both go up, or do you want just one person?
And we selected 4 access.
Yeah, you guys can both come up.
It was, yeah, it was easy to get the
Is that saved? Okay. All right, keep that. Yeah, keep that open, and then do it again here.
Okay.
That way you can show them how you did it, because that's the important thing, is how you did it.
Flex is
Yeah, Flex should be on here. You want to put it here, there? You can put it right next to it. There you go. Yeah, I got you. I'll put it behind. You just gotta open up.
just press login.
It should be already saved. Okay, you're good. Okay, guys, listen up. For those who have never used Flex before, Flex covers Monmouth and Ocean County. Watch how the guys used the system in order to find a comp for this property. So tell us which property you guys used first.
We're looking for a township called Jackson.
Jackson? Okay.
And
45 Westlake Court is the
it's
address.
the main address.
Okay, 45 Westlake Court.
And this house, it was on the market from 391 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the comps, which were sold and under contract from last 30 days.
Okay, good.
And,
Show us how you did that.
so we just went to quick search first,
Okay.
and afterward we did the status. So we selected under contract,
Active.
active was selected, and then closed. And then from there, from under contract date, we just changed to last 30 days.
Last 30 days? Okay.
I don't know why it says 2029, but
Yeah, it like defaults to that. It's kind of weird.
That is strange. Maybe they're trying to tell us something's going to happen on that day. Like after that, the world's over.
and sold, we just took 30 days out. And then we clicked on browse. The property, afterward we just went to municipality and we selected Jackson, because that's the town we were
Mm-hmm.
searching.
There's a lot of movement. A lot of activity in Jackson.
So we found this house, which was there active. It's called 45 Westlake Court in Jackson, which was there for 391 days. And we saw it was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, and it has a basement. So when we were doing the quick search, we selected the same criteria, using 4-bedroom. And then full bath, there are 3, and half is 1. And therefore we came up with,
I think for basement we put yes. Too.
well, even basement we put yes.
Because some of them don't have basements down there.
And also the year, we selected was 2001 and above.
Okay.
And also, sorry, the price. It was $499. It was listed for $499,000.
Don't put the price though. Zoom in. Show me where it is on the map.
Okay. So these were few of the houses, and this is the house which was there on the market from last 391 days.
Nope. Okay. Guys, listen up. Let me just put it here, maybe. You gonna put on your shirt?
Sure.
You just clip it on your shirt. I don't know what this guy's stuck on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, guys, listen up. So then they've gotten to this point where they found the comps that they're gonna start looking into.
So we selected the ones which were active, the one which was closed, and one which is still under contract. So we selected two which are active, and we selected one which was closed and one which was under contract. So I'm just gonna click on those 4 houses which we did the comp for.
Is that your subject property, 45 Westlake?
Sorry?
Yeah, 45 Westlake.
That's your subject, right?
This is
Yeah.
the subject
Okay,
property,
got it.
45, and
And then it was 56 Imperial Place was the comp that closed. It closed at 475 in 17 days. It was originally listed for 479 and it sold for 475. If that had an extra half bath, it was built in 2014. And then you have 901 Lakehurst Ave, which was under contract in 96 days. Same 4 beds, 3.5 baths. It was originally listed for 490 and it got under contract at 469.9.
I don't see this house. I don't see this house here for some reason.
Why did you guys use the map to figure this out? Did you guys like
When
zoom
you
in?
open the map, these were like the 4 closest comps.
Closest.
Oh, okay. So,
So
you visually eyeballed it.
To see the house, you just click on the map and
Yeah.
whatever is closer.
Okay.
And,
And your subject
when
is a star?
we
Is that where
our
your
subject is the star,
Okay.
and then we just went to the map and whatever was closest,
Nice. Okay. That's good.
and that's how we could figure.
Yeah, you
out.
should always use a map when you're looking for comps because it visually gives you an idea of which ones are the closest. That's good. Good. So, what did you come up with your comp analysis? Would you figure out that the home is overpriced? Is
So
it
the-
just right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, our ballpark range was maybe like 465, 470.
Okay, and it's priced at $499 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's been sitting for how many days? It was originally listed at 550.
All right.
And they brought it down.
Do you feel the house is it should come down because it's not as big, it's not as nice, it's not as new?
The one on, I think it was the one on Lakehurst was way bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, Tom's River Road I think was way bigger, but it was listed for 449. But
Okay, so
it's- but
stiff
it's a little
competition.
farther away.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it looked like it was renovated, it was good condition.
Good condition.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
And we just, sorry.
yeah, so they've got a lot of competition on their hands with that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this house, which is still showing active, it's 2001 built, and
Mhm.
the one which was sold, it's recent, like 2014. Let's see.
This one here?
2014, which was sold.
Yeah, much newer. And sold for $499 or $479?
479, and I think that could be a reason that it's still not selling because it's like a block away or very
Yeah.
nearby. And this house, which
Looks like square footage is almost the same.
it doesn't mention,
Yeah.
it's not mentioned there. Approximate square feet is not mentioned, but we just feel that it
Yeah.
should be priced at 470.
Can you guys click on here where it says tax info at the top? You see, right, tax info.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes when you click on tax info, guys, it'll give you the square footage of the property. So here, estimated square footage is 2379. Now close out of that and go back to the subject, 45 Westlake.
Oh, 45.
Yeah, and click on the tax info for that one.
This was the house.
Huh?
This was the one.
Yeah, that's the subject, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this one's 2379, same exact square footage.
No, this
Oh,
was the one.
oh, that's
which
the one you
was
did it?
selected,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Then click on the other
So
one.
I'm
now.
gonna select the one which is
Yeah.
already closed, and tax info is.
2150.
So it's
So 200 feet shy. but the condition is much better and it's much newer.
It's 2014.
Yeah, I don't think most people walking through a 2,100 foot square house or 2,300 square foot house would notice a difference because it's very minute, spread out over a house.
Yep.
But that's probably the reason why.
The difference is $30,000 still not
Yeah.
sold yet.
Good. So, so you guys feel this home should be around 470? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Good. Good job. Awesome. You guys have any questions for them? That was pretty good. That was the that was the Monmouth and Ocean County MLS. Good job, guys.
Thank
you. Jen, Patty, you girls want to show us what you did?
Yeah, we're all confused.
That's okay. This is all about learning.
It doesn't pull up on yours.
Everyone so far that's been up here has learned something while they're up here, so don't worry. Which one are we going to? NJ? Did you guys log out of that one?
Oh, no.
Log out real quick. Good?
Yep.
All right. Okay, ladies. So, show us what you did.
Okay.
Okay, so what was your subject property? Let me get out of your way.
11 Hill.
Who wants to clip this on? 182.
She was taking over the room, so.
Good. I like that.
So our subject property is 11 Hill Road, even though it comes up as another property, another address too. Okay, now it doesn't want to come up.
Are you looking for the subject property?
Yeah,
Just go to my RPR and type in the address.
up here, I
Yeah.
did, it didn't come up.
No, you clicked on my, oh, it's not on RPR?
Oh, and it's Hall Road, that's why.
Oh, that's right, why.
Okay, so Hall Road. That's
Okay, so
where
that
we
was the
went wrong.
subject property.
Oh, that's the subject property.
Yes.
Okay, so then we went to CMA reports with street address? No,
So this is the way you guys did it?
no.
No, we went into the searches, and then from that, we found that property, and then the
search.
subject was the one that was sold,
We clicked sold.
and that was 533 Green Street, Valley Road.
So what are you guys doing here? Are you showing us comps or are you showing us the subject?
Comps.
Well, we just showed you the subject property,
Okay.
now we're going to
So
the
now we're going
comps.
into sold.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
the
so you guys are
sold-
picking solds right now.
Yeah.
So show us how
Because
you
that
did.
one is going, it's under actually a turn review for 450,000, and the comp that we found between the lot sizes, this one's gonna, it actually sold for 440.
Okay, show us how you got to that here. You guys looking for the map?
Yeah.
Right there.
I can't see anything anymore.
I
I'm like
gotcha.
going blind. Okay, so the map search comes up.
The map's doing that crazy thing, right? You gotta zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
Now Alejandro's taught us how to use this a
This
little
he
bit
didn't know
better.
how to figure it. He didn't know how to do it on this
Oh,
one.
really, man?
No, I don't know. They weren't on a part of it was.
It doesn't give you an option to, like, it
Okay.
doesn't give you that box or whatever to.
Yeah, I know. What I would do is I would write down the MLS numbers and I'd narrow them down later myself manually.
I don't do well on Macs. I'm a Windows girl.
Okay, where did you find where the neighborhood is?
I thought I did, but now that it's a different road. Hold on, give me 1 second. I found it on my phone.
Take your time.
Okay, so it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath,
What number is
not renovated, and it's going for 450.
The subject's
Okay,
lot was
so it's-
9,697 on the square foot, and the
Down
one that
here.
sold was 9,374.
Okay, so this is the area down here.
So it's in that area.
Yes.
Okay, so 94, 86, 87, and 75.
Yes, so you
Those?
click on them and it tells you, I'm wrong, that's not the area. Because there's no way.
That's a nice area. I'll buy it for
I
400.
was
That
gonna
is a
say,
nice area.
I see million-dollar
To the right.
properties.
To the right side by Midland Avenue.
To where?
By
Here?
Midland.
By
On the right.
Midland, between Midland and the country
Okay,
club.
got it.
But on the other side of the parkway?
Yeah, up
It's a
here,
little,
no, it's up here.
Left
By
side
the Bergen
17.
County College.
Yeah.
So here we go. So 515. This one's 3 baths. 3 baths. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. I don't remember that green.
Are you doing a different property now?
No, we're on the Hall Street, but we put it in as the wrong thing. So this one's 5 baths and 3, and it's for 537. I don't know where we found the Green Street, Green Valley. The one we had found that was pretty much the same exact house. We had trouble finding it again afterwards. But pretty much we came to the conclusion that it's underpriced because most of the houses that are in this area are selling for over 500.
Okay, so that one's
And
probably
they're
like a handy.
unrenovated
So,
as
it's probably,
well.
so it might be like a handyman
Yeah.
special, right? Might be
Yeah,
a
it
good deal.
definitely needed renovations.
It definitely needed renovations,
That's
and
From
it's
the bathrooms
definitely.
to the kitchen, for sure.
But all of them, there's all of them that are in this area are coming up over 500 that sold, and that one's is under contract or an attorney review for 450.
Okay, so let's just say the home is located right there by Midland Avenue. How would you girls pick which properties to use that would be best for?
I mean, I would
Pricing that
click on
home.
them and see what
So
they're
you're getting-
comparable. So it's 4 bedroom, 2 baths.
Hmm. How would you
These
be
are
able to?
all. This one's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and it went for 635.
If you wanted to show a homeowner your 3 best comps, how would you narrow them down, or you would just print? You would just click on individually and print them, and then go
Yeah.
back and keep doing it. Okay, that's one way to do it. The way I would do it in the past, and it's probably the wrong way, I would just remember what numbers they were. You see 34, 64, 22. I'd write them down, and then I'd go to my previous screen, and then I'd check those, and I'd narrow the rest out. And then I'd be left with those 3, and I'd print those 3 out. But you literally have to count them one by one because
Yeah.
there are no numbers next to them.
Yeah.
I don't know why NJMLS doesn't have numbers next to the listings, but you literally have to count them. So it's
This
really,
website is really
it's
confusing.
really difficult, yeah, to use. And I'm not a big fan of their system. CJMLS and Flex are way, way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and we got to learn how to use it and deal with
Yeah.
it. So with
Lucky
all
New Jersey, we're the only one who have 5.
a whole bunch, yeah. When I was working on a weekly basis with auction.com, and they would give me a list of properties to find out values for them, I'd have to go to NJMLS and all of them, every single MLS, but this one was by far the toughest one to work
The
with.
toughest to work with, yeah.
So you guys got a tough one, but just whatever works for you, as long as you can come up with a good way of having a value for your seller, and just make sure you obviously get the data. That's important. Mapping is good, so always look at the map. Good job, girls.
Thank you.
All right. I think we got stage fright.
What?
I think they got stage fright. Dorothy and
She took over, to be honest, so I was like,
no, not you two. No, I'm talking about. Oh, Alejandro. You're,
There's so much me. I'm like, yeah, no, you don't have there.
you have. I think you have HDMI.
Yes, I got the converter.
You got HDMI here.
It's you hang it on your wall.
We're just gonna have to use the camera, Jonathan. We're just gonna have to use the
I
camera.
can see the screen.
They're not gonna see the screen. We might not even get a signal on that. Is that connecting? No.
I look like
What are you using? You're using Hudson County, right?
Hudson, yeah.
If you want to log out, I'll log you onto this one.
Yeah, I think I automatically turn it off.
It doesn't go right. Can you give me a new one? You can log out of that one?
Yeah, it already turned
Okay.
off the computer.
Oh, okay.
047.
Okay. Some of you guys have probably never used Hudson MLS before, or the Paragon. Depends what you want to call it. So Alejandro's going to show us how he used it in order to get the comps for his property. If you want to show everyone the comp first, you can do it by going to RPR if you want to have RPR open somewhere. I think it's right here. You can just type into RPR and show them.
The address, I had the address on the computer, but it just turned off.
Oh, I did? Do you recall? It was in Bayonne.
Yeah, it was in Bayonne.
Well, then do this. Then just go to the Hudson County MLS, the the Hudson County Paragon, and show someone how to find comps in Bayonne. So, guys, look, what he's going to do. Yeah, there you go. You can go to that. It saves your last searches.
But it's not.
What are you trying to do?
To go to like the last search that I did.
Oh, it says here. Is that your last search? If you click on it. And now you just go to search. What I want you to do too is was that your last search? No, right? Couldn't have been. No. Go to search and just show them how to find comps in Bayonne. Like you did before. Go to one. Remember? One family.
Family.
Go to status.
Active.
You want actives for your comps? No, just show them the
Oh,
comps.
okay, just
show 'em
comps. Okay,
yeah.
okay. So then, so.
Yeah, just click sold, take the
Sold.
active off. Okay. Now guys, when you click sold, you have to specify how far back in Hudson County.
So
if not, it's gonna,
any bedrooms? Or yeah, right.
whatever you want. Yeah, just go to area and then go to closing date. Now go to closing date. Don't forget closing date because right now he's got 2,300 results and he doesn't want 2,300 results. So he's going to go maybe 6 months back. That's going in the future. You don't want to go in the future. Don't go in the future. That's cool. Okay, so you came up with these properties, right? Now, how do we use a map in this one? Right there's a map search button. All right, good job. Okay, so this gives us all the sales, the recent sales there's been in Bayonne 6 months back. Now his property was in the southern part of Bayonne, so what he had to do is go to this most southern part of Bayonne. Show him what you did then, bro. Mapping tool?
Mapping tool?
Yeah, it was one of your mapping tools. Which one did you pick? Do you remember? You pick the shape. You see what he's doing, guys? All right, now he eliminated everything else. Now you go to search. Right hand side, right hand side.
This one?
No, last time we did. That might do it too. Yeah, that narrowed them down. Good. So now you're left with these properties, right? So now if you had a property in that area, well, you did have a property in that area, and I think what it was, that property was $499, I think it was?
It was 499, yeah,
Hey.
and I adjusted it to 420.
420. Show me some of the properties in that area that you used to see why.
440, this one. Well, this one is totally renovated.
And it's over 430? Oh no.
For
Scroll down, I think it would say at the bottom.
440.
440? At the bottom, I think it would
Yeah,
say.
440.
Oh yeah, there it is, 440. Yeah.
So it was way better property.
Oh yeah, look, beautiful condition. This one sold for 440, and there was another one listed for 499. That means it has to come
499,
down.
and it was outdated with carpet
yeah.
and all the stuff.
Okay, so good. All right, so you guys see how you use Hudson County. It's pretty not difficult at all. It's a little bit weird to use, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really
Yeah,
easy.
the first time,
Yeah,
second time.
it's a really easy MLS to actually do your comp searches on or search properties. I actually like their site a lot. The one that I really have a hard time with, like I said to you guys, is NJMLS. But other than that, these are all pretty friendly. They're all user friendly. You just got to use them enough times. Now with the Hudson County MLS, remember that you can't log on without having a safe password. They change the password every time. So in order to use this MLS, you got to have a safe password. You have the token. Good. So what did you learn from here, Alejandro?
I learned that people be overpricing way too much.
Everywhere, not just in Union County, right? Good. Ladies, do you want to come up and show us yours? Good job, bro. Yes, you do. Let's see.
You get a walk us through it.
Question.
Uh-huh.
I got that Emmanuel Duvet. Do you know who he is?
I do.
He's coming in to sign the contract today for the Irvington deals.
Emmanuel Dumais?
I gotta put the contract
Yeah,
together.
he's our agent.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why?
'Cause he's coming to sign the contract today.
For himself or for his client?
No, for the Irvington deal that we have.
But for him. You guys had the Bright MLS. Okay. Let's log in real quick. This is not it, right?
I think Bright goes into like Maryland too.
Goes into what?
I think it works like in Maryland too.
I think it works in PA. I'm not mistaken. Okay. This is it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and show us, ladies, what you guys did. Okay, so you found a property.
Alright, so I kind of just did what you said. Went into search,
Guys, listen up, please.
I clicked on active, closed, because they don't have sold.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's closed.
That's fine.
And active, under contract, and closed.
Mm-hmm.
I did 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Where are we? I did Mercer County, Trenton. And that's the only criteria I put.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And that brought you to your results.
Right. Okay, so that was like way too many. So
Mhm.
I need to go back.
So you mapped it, right?
I did map it, but I didn't have this many.
Yeah, what you can do is click on that little box underneath previous up the top.
Where?
You see where it says previous or
Here?
next? Yeah, click that.
Okay.
And if you go to now, you click on map view.
Here.
Yeah, you could still, whether you have 10 or 100, you could still do the same thing you did before with the.
Okay, so click this.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you'd want to zoom into your area a little bit first
Okay.
before you.
So let me get out of that. So use
Yeah,
this
right there. Zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
Do you remember where the area was?
Oops.
You can
Not
delete the
that.
shape.
Okay. So it was where were we?
Colonial Lake.
By Colonial Lake. If we can find the lake. So maybe here.
Yeah, that's that lake.
Okay.
Cool. So each one of those little red and green houses
Here are the
represent the sale,
houses.
right?
Right.
So what you want to do is highlight that whole area where you have
Okay,
the sales.
so-
Cool. All right.
okay.
Is that?
And then
See, it narrowed it down for you already. So now you go to refine at the bottom.
okay.
Okay. Then you go to your results at the top.
All right.
Great. Now you have your
Okay.
results. So that narrows down the properties that are in your area. Now the property you had picked before, what was it listed at?
It was listed at 320.
320?
Right.
Wow, and it seems like there's not too many homes selling for 320 in that area.
No.
Yeah. Is there a reason why that home was so much? Was it a new construction?
It was not a new construction. It was 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. It was a ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not the same. These are like row houses, townhouses.
Yeah, so you'd probably redo this search again and look
Mhm.
for more similar style homes.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, you guys know how to use the system now. It's very simple. You click in the criteria. Sometimes when you're getting nothing but row houses and things like that, you may want to try not putting in a number of bedrooms
Okay.
because that might be
It'll give you
skewing the
more.
information. Yeah,
Okay.
you might be able to find more comps in that area.
All right.
So sometimes when you don't know the area, less is more. And then if you get too much, then you can start narrowing down.
Okay.
But good job overall,
Thank
guys.
I
You
have
see
a
how?
question.
Yes, of course.
Suppose I had the address, is there a way of just putting in the address and then finding the houses?
Yes,
that are
there is.
in the-
So put in the address at the very top. You see where
Up
that
here?
right there? Yeah. Put in the address of the house that you guys looked up.
149 Lakedale Drive.
You can do just like CJMLS.
With the town. Or
Just
no?
go with that and you
Okay.
hit search. All right, take out drive.
Okay.
And is Lakedale one word or two?
It is
One word.
One word, okay. Search.
It's still not.
Maybe Lake Town.
If you unclick the criteria next to the search.
Oh, okay. Oops.
It's okay. Just do what you just did again. Click to the.
It's gone. Oh, okay. So go back to criteria and how do I go down here?
So it found the match, right, for that property. So now what you could do is just go to.
It didn't.
Mm-mm. So if I unclick bedrooms, you're saying?
Yeah, you could do it.
And baths? And then results? Still not.
Next, yeah, the address is gone, and you can unclick the criteria next to it.
This is not, I'm not seeing that on here.
So what I want to show you, will you show
Okay.
you ladies real quick, is this,
Yeah, 'cause
okay?
I'm on that.
Let me
screen.
let me refresh everything, and I'm gonna start from scratch. So let's just say I was on a Bright MLS, okay?
Mhm.
And I go to that search toolbar. Okay, what is the address of the property?
149 Lakedale Drive.
Because CJMLS has this function where you can just put in the address and it comes
okay.
up with all these properties, okay? Now these are active, expired, everything. Now what you can do is, from here, a lot of times what you're able to do is find comps. I know that in here, map search, right? So
Okay.
we would put in within, let's say, 1 mile of 149 Lakedale. Now what you do is, since you've asked the system to give you all the comps within 1 mile, all you have to do now is look at the results. You have 29 matches. So it's a quick way of doing it. CJ MLS has the same function.
Okay.
I wish all the other MLSs had that same function, but they don't. So a real simple way of you guys doing it that way in the future if you had to. And then from here you can play around with the map and see which ones are closer. Maybe there's some comps right on that same block.
Right.
You know, now you have a range.
Yeah, and
see?
that's what that's in the range of the 320.
So do you feel the home was priced on par or with other homes, or you think it was a little too overpriced? What did you feel about that home?
From what we saw, because initially we narrowed it down to 6, and there were 3 that had sold that were in like 214, 200, and then there were the 3 that were over 300 that hadn't sold, and those were like 60 to 90 days on the market.
So you feel it's a tad bit over?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you recommend the price be?
Well, there's like $150,000 difference.
Yeah, pretty big, right?
So you know, I think the 3 that were over 300 were more up to date. So maybe bring them down to like 280.
About 280. So this was a subject property.
Right.
Yeah. So it was listed at 320. 280 seems to be the right number. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Obviously, it looks like you guys did the research the right way.
Right.
So good. All right. So everybody, this is not for you guys to perfect your sale price today. Is for you guys to realize how to use the functionalities on all the different MLSs that we have in order to look for comps. You guys have an advantage here, which is that you have access to every single MLS across the state. But I know a lot of us have never used some of them, so it's important for you guys to kind of familiarize yourself with the different nuances and the different ways that each one of them works. So I think it was a pretty good exercise for you guys to just get the feel of other MLSs, even though I'm sure none of you became an expert. It took me many years to, believe me, use these systems over and over again to get familiarized enough to the point where I can teach it to other people. So definitely keep playing with it. If you guys get business in those towns, start playing with it more now than later on when you need to show a client what you feel their home is worth, because you want to be able to navigate it very easily. Okay, good job, guys. All right, so let's just close out now with some of our announcements. Okay, a couple of things are repetitive from last week, but I just want to remind you guys. But one thing I do want to talk to you guys about is that we still are having our morning accountability group. It meets every Monday between 9 to 12. You guys may see me either sitting outside the office or sitting out at my desk or even in the agent's area. I'm still prospecting, guys, and I hope you guys know that you guys are still expected to do the same. Whoever has joined the group and has signed the accountability Me First pledge. So we are still meeting, and I'm not keeping track of the score that much on the board anymore, but it doesn't mean we're not meeting. So I want you guys to know that you do have accountability people here. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in the morning, you want people to hold you accountable, just show up and be here, be around us, because being around us, you'll see that everyone's doing something that's productive. If you feel your mornings are being spent too much on busy work and not productive work, and I'm not saying you guys aren't working, but you got to know the difference between busy and productive. Busy makes you no money, productive will make you money. The busy work obviously is important too, but it could come later, because I'll be honest with you, if you don't do the productive work first, it's very likely you won't do it in the afternoon when you start getting inundated with other people's requests, life getting in the way. So it's always important to do it in the morning. Okay. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is, anyone was interested, this week is we're having a Toastmasters class here in Scotch Plains, not at this location. If anyone's interested in attending, it's at the JCC in Scotch Plains across the street from the YMCA. It's at 7:30 on the 17th. If anybody wants to improve their speaking skills, communication skills, or just to be able to be uncomfortable, with public speaking or entering.
Change that date, because that's the day of my first time home buyer seminar.
No, I'm not.
The last one, and I wanted to go to that one.
Sorry.
Baby. Oh my
I'm sorry. I'm not in charge of that. That's not me.
Okay.
Sorry, but you can make the next one. They're every 2 weeks. They're not going anywhere. Next is the monthly billing, guys. If you guys didn't hear about this from last week, there is an email going out this week about if anyone has open bills that go past 30 days, you'll get a notice. If you can't pay right away, I understand. That's fine. But just we're going to keep tabs of for now on going forward, because sometimes a few months go by and then agents start to have memory lapses, that they don't remember things or don't understand why they're being charged for certain things. So we don't want any surprises. So we're giving you guys your monthly billing statements every month at the end of the month. Okay, last is we didn't have a speaker, and Vimal, we kind of voted you in last time to be our next speaker. So what it is just you come up on stage and you not stage, but you come up here and then you tell us a little bit about yourselves. Pretty much everybody in the room now has done one. So if you would like, next week if you can make it, we'd like for you to come up and just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your ideas about why you're in real estate and what you want to accomplish. So that'd be nice, quick.
Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. Yeah, so quick. If you can make it, if you can't, just let me know. And
I'll do it.
all right, good. All right, awesome. All right, anyone have anything to add to anything? Any comments? Yes, Mike?
You can advertise that this is culture official.
Yeah. So guys, we have a couple different social sites for This Is Culture, which is going to be our new flagship show, I guess you would call it. It's kind of like a how do you call it? Like a collage of different shows within a greater show. So the whole idea behind it is that it's going to be an interview style show where we have a person we're interviewing that day, but in between are segments of different varieties. So one will be a goals segment where people track their goals. Let's say someone wants to start a fitness journey, and every time that there's a show release, we track their progress along with the show. It might not be every week, but it's going to be on a continuous basis. There's going to be different little segments like that. Curb Appeal is another one that'll show like local businesses that can give you tips on certain things. Like if you have, for instance, I think we had a chiropractor who could teach you how to like better your posture, or how to not have back pain, or how to alleviate certain type of pains that people normally have. So a lot of good information. It's kind of like I don't know, compare it to maybe
it's a variety. It's like
variety
like
shows.
Conan O'Brien or Jimmy Kimmel.
So we created obviously the social media around it, which is going to be aired on YouTube and Facebook. So if you guys get the opportunity to go to This Is Culture,
the Instagram is the main one.
Yeah, the Instagram is going to be the one where it's going to be a little different. The name it's thisisculture.official, because there's an already existence of This Is Culture for some reason. So if you guys can follow that, and also follow us on the YouTube and the Facebook, that's where the shows are going to be aired. So I think the first one that's going to be aired is August.
No, July 25th or 6th. It's going to be every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
3 p.m. We're going to share it live.
So we've been quiet for the last few months, guys, because we've been compiling the interviews, the content, all the information that we need to release. So the reason why we did that is because now every week we'll consistently have a show without having any lapses. So if anyone's interested in learning how they can participate or add to the show, please let Mike know. He'll give you ideas on what you can do. We're always looking for good ideas and people to participate as well. So it's going to be a really good show. It's going to give us a lot of good notoriety. It's not a show where we're cramming real estate down everyone's throat. It's an open kind of variety show where it's going to bring a lot of interest and attention to the company. That way it can kind of solidify who you work with or what company you're with when you go to a listing appointment or you talk to clients, because it's going to be a show that anyone will watch, not just somebody who's interested in real estate. So that's the reason why we put some effort and energy behind it. That's the reason why we created the studio. That's the reason why we have these two great media people that are working with us now. So it's good stuff. So hopefully you guys make an effort to either participate or at least watch and support the show. It's going to be really good. I'm really proud of it. These guys put together some good stuff. All right. Anything else, guys? You guys may want to share? Anything? Okay. No? So we'll close out with our prayer, guys. We did pretty good, and we're 11:30, a little early today, which is awesome. Father God, we thank you once again for allowing us, like you always do, to meet on a Monday morning and be thankful and grateful for all the blessings that we have in our life. Thank you for all the abundance that we have that we don't even realize sometimes that we have in our lives. And thank you for the people around us that make us better. Thank you for the people around us that always support us and push us a little bit further and a little bit harder every day. Thank you for all the struggles, and thank you for all the hardships that we go through that we learn from and come out better on the other side. We thank you for all the future blessings and the future struggles that we have ahead of us, and just allow us to understand what happens to us is necessary in order to grow. And we just want to be able to become better role models and influences for other people as well. We ask you to use us to work through you. I think I'm saying that right. We want to be able to be good stewards of our business and of our homes. Allow us to use your words and influence other people to also see that the only way to walk is in your light. So we thank you for everything once again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I hope I said that correctly. I was trying to tongue twister. Thank you, guys.